Oh yes, and welcome back all you wonderful weed heads to another and brand new edition of Weed on Wrestling. I am of course Weed, aka Alan, your host that tries to stay stoned the most, and here on Weed on Wrestling I get super baked and try to talk about all the finer points in the WWE universe. Something special coming at you today. I got a lot of people right here in Secondhand Studios, aka the Blunt Cave. Let me hit this as it goes around in rotation. I got Captain Cannabis right here with me.
I'm glad to be back.
I got Boo Boo Kitty Fuck right here with us. She's kind of off the mic. Say hello, honey.
Hey.
And that is, of course, my one love of all. And, of course, I cannot forget about the WeedMan himself right here. WeedMan, how you doing, buddy?
Doing all right. What to do, what to do.
What to do. All right, that's it. And what we're going to do, we're going to just sit back. We're going to take a few tokes of this right here that's rolling around. And we're going to talk about, you know what? We're going to talk about whatever comes to mind. And in no particular direction that it's going tonight. So we're just going to see where the topic of conversation takes us. So, Captain Cannabis, what's on your mind? What do you want to talk about?
Let's see. The rise and fall of the war on drugs.
The rise and fall of the war on drugs. I don't understand what direction you're going here, because to have a proper war on drugs, you actually need to have an adversary. Are you saying that your adversary is actually something that is fictitious and made up in your mind?
Well, isn't that what the war on drugs is to begin with?
That is exactly what the war on drugs is to begin with, but you're taking it too deep. You're taking it entirely too deep. Let's just kind of keep. It's too early to go too deep. You know what I'm saying? It's way too early to go this deep.
You have to understand, man. I'm on that level.
You are on that level. We've been sipping a few. We've been smoking a few. Do you really want to get into this right now?
Well, how deep down this rabbit hole you want to go with me tonight, man?
I'm willing to go the full distance.
I've done saved the world today, man. I'm willing to do it again.
So you've been to the Blunt Cave.
Oh, multiple times today.
So we're going to talk about this, huh? We ain't even going to talk about wrestling or anything like that.
I think it's for not too formal, guys. In all fairness, I know that every week we here talks about wrestling. When my turn to return, we're going to change things up. This is a special event. We brought company.
We did bring company. It is rather full in the Blunt Cave here tonight, right here at Secondhand Studios. So
I think that you have two other people sitting here and they have no idea what topic this is going down. So I think if you want to choose a little different topic for us to all contribute to.
I happen to agree with you there. All right.
I'm going to take another hit of this wonderful blunt Mr. WeedMan has rolled for us.
All right. So let's just think about wrestling, because after all, it is a Weed on Wrestling show. So let's just think about wrestling as a whole.
How about we talk about the most electrifying man in the business?
How about not? How about we go down the rabbit hole of
Dean Ambrose.
See, you're from the new school, honey. You're completely from the new school of...
Granted, I've only been watching for, 6 months now?
Yeah, which is why you're from the new school. You're from that era of, I don't know anything about the past. Marsh.
Watch it there, honey.
Not knowing anything about the past, though, you're left in a conundrum of where do you go with your all-time favorite wrestlers? Where do you go with your Mount Rushmore? Because your Mount Rushmore will look a lot different than mine.
True.
Your Mount Rushmore will consist of, as Captain Cannabis is over here dying in the corner, your Mount Rushmore will consist of those names that are more formidable and at the forefront of everything that's going on today, right?
Then why worry about the past? Because the past is the past.
Oh, but the past is history. You can't have anything
But
without
you have
the past.
history, but then you have all these new storylines where the history doesn't matter anymore.
The storylines are repeated.
But with different people. So why
all right, I'm
worry
gonna
about
call
the
a spade a
old people with the
spade.
new people?
In fairness, I'm going to call a spade a spade. Let's go back to WCW. Chris Jericho challenges Bill Goldberg to multiple matches in a row where Goldberg is known to be out on injury and doesn't show. Let's fast
And
forward.
they're still on the current shows already.
Okay, fair enough. But let's fast forward roughly 15 years. The Miz does the exact same shit Jericho does to John Cena.
He was John Cena at one point.
No, The Miz was never John Cena.
Yeah, actually, he was. Within the past couple weeks, Miz did make fun of John Cena.
Okay, so we're talking parody.
Yeah.
So no,
He made
again,
fun.
like I said, he was never John Cena.
He
And
actually-
again, I'll be the first motherfucker in the room to bash John Cena.
He did a better job of being John Cena than John Cena does of being John Cena. That's all I'm
And
saying.
yet, there's Dean Ambrose punched him right in the face.
Yeah, Dirty Deeds him right in the middle of the ring. That's kind of the way the angle's going right now. Is it's a Dean Ambrose versus The Miz storyline.
Well, that was coming. He's the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
Didn't The Miz drop the title to Dean Ambrose?
Yeah, Miz dropped the title to Dean Ambrose here about 6 months ago, and Ambrose has been holding the title ever since. So it's one of those things where it could go either way. Ooh, hear that wonderful goodness as I'm taking a hit from this wonderful blunt as it goes by. And now, where Boo Boo Kitty Fuck comes from the angle of everything that she knows is right now on the forefront of WWE Universe, WeedMan himself comes from a different timeline. Where do you come from, WeedMan? What era do you come from? Are you an Attitude Era fan?
Oh, nice. Hey,
What would you consider the Attitude Era?
Attitude Era is anything post Stone Cold Steve Austin. So you're going, oh shit, with The Rock. You're going with anything Kurt Angle. You're
Some
going
Bret Hart. A lot of Owen.
You're going Owen is a little bit pre, because Owen died in what 97, 98.
Owen died during the Attitude Era.
Yeah, but the Attitude Era, I say that the Attitude Era kicked off with Stone Cold Steve Austin cutting that Austin 316, I just whipped your ass promo.
Well, it's no different than Hogan showing up at the pay-per-view. He
Fuck
showed
Hogan.
up being the third man for the NWO, but we won't
Fuck
get into
Hogan.
that this evening.
Fuck Hogan.
Don't disagree. I'm sorry. When you say take your prayers, take your vitamins, be a Hulkamaniac,
Fuck Hogan.
let me tell you something, brother. When you do the
Fuck
leg
Hogan.
drop that, well, was heard around the world, we're not
Alright.
going to get into that this evening.
I have a rebuttal. And my rebuttal is, fuck Hogan. I was talking to the Weed Man. Alright,
My bad.
you're good. Weed Man. What era do you come from? Do you come from a Kane versus The Undertaker? Do you come versus a Kane and
when
Daniel
I
Bryan?
paid attention to wrestling, Kane and Undertaker wasn't necessarily against each other.
Okay,
But were they
quiz,
best-
are
were
they
they the-
related?
Were they the Brothers of
Yeah.
Destruction?
They are related,
Were they the Brothers of Destruction?
pretty much.
So they were the tag team partners going in and kicking everybody's ass.
Okay, we're right there with you.
That's
We remember the time.
That's a good timeline. That's like an 04, like 2002, 2001.
I'd say
To
maybe
2004?
maybe as early as 98, just
I don't think
because...
you go in 98 because Kane came in like
96, 97.
somewhere around there. I don't know.
So it
My
would-
timeline is off. I'm all fuckered up. I can't tell you.
That's just about when I actually started, for real, paying attention to it. I mean, I know wrestlers as far
Alright.
back as Goldberg, stuff like that, but I
So
didn't really pay
you're
attention
all right,
to it as
man.
much.
So, Captain Cannabis here, kind of fails you. You were a WCW fan. You knew people like Sting, Ric Flair, Lex Luger, Macho Man Randy Savage. To quote the NWO, I hate to even do it, you got people like Scott Hall and Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
Right? Again, WeedMan, thank you. Fuck Hogan. I have to agree. As a former Hogan fan, and I do have to admit that, when Hogan was WCW, it was all about the Hulkamaniac, say my prayers, take my vitamins, but when he decided to do the leg drop on Macho Man, right, that was the end of it for me.
The end of it for me was the finger poke of doom.
I was later.
That was the end of WCW for me. There was no coming back from it. How do you come back from snapping the streak to a bullshit cattle prod to the finger poke of doom the next night on Nitro.
Eric Bischoff. That's how.
I don't even
No, wait. Who was the former WWF writer that
There you
WCW hired?
That was the time that I watched, was when it was WWF.
WWF.
All right, no. Who was that writer that WCW hired?
Bring
What
the
was his
F
name?
back.
What was his
shit.
name?
I know who you're talking about. I just can't remember his name right now. Give me a second, I'll think of it. It's not Jim Cornette, it's the other dude.
Forgive the cursing on air.
You ain't gotta forgive shit.
Kansas had a.
I
few drinks
listed
evening.
this shit as explicit. We can be as fucking cuss-worthy as possible.
But again, I'm a superhero. I'm trying to save the world one bowl at a time, man. I do have to, mind the children. Okay, but
Do
I agree with you. Fuck the children, but not in that manner.
Do not be Sandusky on this bitch. Do not fuck the children. You're welcome.
Only if they're children of the corn.
Oh, WeedMan.
I was too close right now. I was way too close.
Nebraska,
That's
bitch.
where that shit was
Nebraska,
filmed.
bitch.
Yeah, that's where that shit was filmed.
But according to the book, it's Nebraska, bitch. Get it right.
That is true. It's still fucking close in Nebraska right now. It's a little too close for comfort.
But
Yeah,
fuck
no,
them, man.
Yeah, almost BFE if you know what I mean.
Alright, so we got to get our picks in. Our picks in for Payback is coming at us this Sunday. I don't even know what to expect when it comes down to this show because we've got a lot of horse shit on the menu for Payback.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, before WeedMan says anything, I want you to understand the last thing I watched live was pay-per-view. WrestleMania.
You watched WrestleMania?
I watched WrestleMania. I did skip a few matches. I skipped a lot of the women's matches. I apologize. I do respect the women's division. I do. I skipped the cruiserweight matches.
How are you gonna skip the? How the fuck are you gonna skip the cruiserweight matches? That is the fastest hour on television. That is the best hour you will get for any WWE programming. How the fuck you gonna skip 205 Live?
All right,
I'm disappointed in your ass right now,
You
Captain
can be
Cannabis.
disappointed in me how you want, WeedMan, but understand.
I'm not
I don't
Weed
pay
Man.
for internet.
That is Weed Man. I am Weed, aka Alan. Get your goddamn monikers right.
Weed.
Yes.
Man.
Thank you. Enunciate, bitch.
Okay. Don't start with me. It's one of those things, man. I got
What?
my family in my home.
Don't start that. You're not
Right.
John Cena. Don't
I
start
don't
rapping.
pay bills.
Don't start rapping. You're not John Cena.
For newsflash, homie, I'm white.
You're not Kurt Angle either.
No, I ain't an Olympic champion.
You didn't win a gold medal by breaking your freaking neck.
Oh, don't get me started on Kurt Angle.
You
Don't.
won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck.
Kurt Angle's a bitch.
Thank you, Weed.
How are you gonna say Kurt Angle is a bitch? At this point in time, how are you really gonna say Kurt Angle is a bitch?
Hey,
Because
Wade, you want
the
to be fucking
motherfucker
Angle
comes
on?
down to the motherfucker. Hang on, let me hit this and keep it rolling. But how are you really gonna say Kurt Angle is a bitch when he still comes down to this day with a crowd full of people?
And what
that
do they
sings out,
say?
"You suck." And you know why they say it? It's because at one point they stopped singing it, and Kurt Angle said that he missed it. It's a way that showed respect back to Kurt Angle as a way that he is the epitome of what it takes to be a superstar. They say it as a way to give homage.
Well, Kurt Angle never won me over. To be
Why not?
I
What-
never,
okay,
I
hang
never
on.
liked him.
Before we go any further, I gotta ask, when was the last time that you watched WWE or even had it referenced in your everyday life before tonight?
You know, it's not very often.
I didn't think so. This is a very niche market. And with that nicheness, though, it kind of works out. So you may get your name out there more than you even know. So let me know. Last match you ever actually cared about? Was there ever a time that you cared about the WWE? Or the WWF, since that was the time that you watched?
Take this, man.
There was
Take it.
there was never a time where you just kind of like stood in awe of the writing, or you just kind of looked at it like, oh, this is what I'm watching right now. Let's see where it's at.
I mean, I've sat down and I've watched WWE.
Yeah,
I've sat down and I've watched it, and I've paid attention to it.
you never
But
cared.
it, after a while, it got old to me.
Same
It's
storyline.
the same
So
exact thing over and
I
over.
quit watching it. It was
Which
always,
was further argument that me and
it
you
was
had
always
earlier.
somebody
Kitty.
new coming in, somebody leaving. Once you got used to somebody, like it was always the same shit, and I got tired of it.
My dog's barking in the background. He's
And to
letting
me,
us
I mean,
catch us
Hit
up.
the wall, huh?
I understand it. It's world wrestling entertainment, so it's entertainment.
Yeah.
So to me, I don't really see too much of it being, as far as WWE goes. Like, I understand a lot of the things are actually taking place. I understand, you can't really fake getting hit with the chair, but at the same time, I do understand that you learn the proper way to do so that you don't fully hurt someone.
You learn how to take a bump. You learn how to hit the ropes. You learn everything that it takes to be a technical aspect from it.
So that you don't
Get hurt.
exactly.
Alright, so moving forward from that, though.
Hold on, Weed. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm going to ask you a question, right? Put it in fractions of, like 100%, right? How much of wrestling percentage is real versus fake?
What are you considering real and what are you considering fake? Are you considering getting hit with a chair and, like, knowing how to hit it so that they don't hurt them? Are you considering that fake or are you considering that real? Because the contact is still real.
Okay, but you understand that wrestling isn't 100% fake, right? It's partially real. I mean, you're getting hit in the head with a steel chair or you're getting popped with a sledgehammer, right? But it's like 60-40, 70-30, maybe 20-80, right? What do you give percentage real fake? You've watched it. You knew what was going on.
Probably about like 20-80.
Okay. Okay.
20% be the real.
Nice. I can respect that. Now, Weed, I'm sorry I interrupted. I'm going to let you take it back now.
No, I'm just wondering. I'm sitting here from an outsider's perspective. I'm sitting here thinking about the matches that you watched over time. What matches stand out in your mind? Like, is there anything in particular that stands out in your mind as something that's worth remembering? Is there a storyline?
I mean, let's just put it this way. I mean, the wrestlers that I remember, the wrestlers that anybody remembers, are the wrestlers that created the most commotion.
Yeah. And
So-
with that, so who's the wrestlers that stand out in your mind?
I
Who
mean,
is, if you were to make a Mount Rushmore, 4 or 5 greatest wrestlers of all time?
I hope we've come to this evening.
Yes, we have. We have come to this, the Mount Rushmore, if you will. So if you were to give yourself, let's even take it one step further. Let's give yourself 5 wrestlers, top 5 of all time. Who do you put in that top 5? As there's a common, everyday, I'm just going to watch this whenever I come across it. I'm just going to see where this shit takes me. Who do you put in the top 5?
Goldberg.
Alright. And it doesn't have to be in any particular order. Just where do you... We've got Goldberg coming in somewhere in the top 5. It's in no particular order. So we got Goldberg. Who else we got?
The Rock.
Alright, The Rock, of course. The Rock, I would imagine, would be... I mean, if it's
At
just
least
me,
number 2.
I would put him upwards of top 3, somewhere in there. At least. Who else we got?
Stone Cold. Can't forget the beer.
Of course, Stone
Oh, it's
Cold.
316 here, ain't it, motherfuckers?
Motherfucker invented beer. I don't give a shit what anybody says. He's the
Hey,
inventor
everybody,
of
you
beer.
can't see it, but I'm giving Wayne the finger.
he is giving me the California howdy. So Stone Cold, again, another dude that I would put in my top 3. Cheers to that, dude. All right, so we got at least 4 of them moving forward. We need 1 more.
Kane.
Really? Coming from the rafters. I dig it. He didn't go the Undertaker route, which would be probably the more plausible route to go if you were going to go top 5. But instead you go his little brother, the man that...
Brother.
Little brother. Let's just go...
Half brother.
call it what it is. He's some sort of relation. So, but either
Product
way,
of an affair with Paul Bearer.
but either way, he demands the same sort of respect as the point that he can make fire develop out of his arms. I mean, he demands a whole lot of respect. I dig that.
I'm not knocking that. Undertaker controls lightning. Kane takes fire. Okay, it's elemental, but what happened to their stepsisters?
Okay.
Bad question. I
No.
apologize.
It's actually not a bad question because that leads us into our next segment. What if all of the storylines in the WWE universe, like, hear me out on this one. Elaborate, if you will.
All right, let's collaborate, man.
All right, let's
I'll
elaborate.
listen.
All right, elaborate and you listen. What if the WWE universe was something like a Marvel universe, where all things are some sort of
So we're talking the multiverse.
a multiverse, if you will?
Hold on.
What
Again,
if-
does that make sense to you?
Think of it as like a superhero aspect, where everything is kind of intertwined, if you will.
Well, if you're gonna put wrestling in with that, to me, in my mind, I'm thinking Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
Ooh,
I like it.
okay, well, let's run with this.
All right.
I'm digging this vibe here. So, in a Mortal Kombat standing, let's take people like Sting. We'll be more specific on the Sting. We'll talk the Hollywood Blonde Sting with the bright multicolored face paint. Pre-Crow Sting. Against wrestler of your choice, WeedMan.
Wrestler of my choice.
You know who Sting is.
I do.
Woo!
That was Ric Flair, and
I'm
that
gonna-
was really fucking
Sting.
loud. But yeah,
Sting does his
I'm gonna
Sting
go The
does,
Rock.
Oh,
I would put The Rock up against Gene.
oh shit!
Okay,
The
so we
Rock
have
coming
the
in against
Icon versus the People's Champ.
Damn.
We have the Stinger Splash versus the People's Elbow.
I gotta give it to the people's elbows. I'm sorry.
You know what?
You're coming from WCW. I'm coming from old school WWF. I gotta give it to the people's elbow. I'm sorry.
We, in all respect, WeedMan in all respect, you know what? I give it to The Rock.
You got to.
It's the
All right,
Scorpion
where-
Deathlock.
I like where we're going here. Let's take it one step forward. Let's take dream matchups. Let's take somebody versus the Attitude Era versus somebody versus WCW. Let's go 96 to 2000. That's our cutoff. Who would we want to see in each other's corner? I'm coming from a WWF standpoint. Captain Cannabis, you're coming from a WCW standpoint.
Well, this evening I think I'll play neutral.
You're playing neutral? WeedMan, you're coming from just an abstract viewer onto the scenery.
Let's be fair. Let's just call him the outsider.
The outsider, I like it. Alright, so we seen the Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels match, the ladder match at WrestleMania. Almost everybody who's a fan remembers that. So let's take it one step further. What if we were to have a Razor Ramon versus, like, say, a Triple H?
Okay, but in fairness, would that be Scott Hall or Razor Ramon?
Scott Hall.
Are we talking the bad guy, the
bad
NWO
guy.
bad guy, or
The bad guy.
pretty much what he's become now?
The bad guy.
Okay. Where's WeedMan? What do you think?
Because if you have the bad guy versus the game, what are you looking at there?
All right, because
The technical standpoint alone is going to be an amazing match.
I can remember a Razor Ramon versus the 1-2-3 Kid.
Fuck X-Pac.
I didn't say that.
Fuck X-Pac. I'll say it.
You could say that, but at this point
Fuck
in time...
the 1-2-3 Kid. You want me to say it like that?
Oh, okay, I respect that. Because honestly, he had no skill, no talent, none whatsoever. But the charisma
Charisma was off the fucking charts.
blew my mind. Kid that weighed probably 165 pounds, wrestling a 235-pound
185.
man.
Give the man some sort of credit.
Okay.
He was a heavy man's Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho weighs like 230 now.
Hey, Chris Jericho is a motherfucking pimp. You watch your mouth around here.
I
Chris
still
Jericho-
don't believe he's the GOAT.
How dare you, sir?
I
How
respect-
dare you come into the Blunt Cave, into Secondhand Studios?
How
and
dare
say,
I come into my home and disrespect the
How
Blunt Cave?
dare you say that Chris Jericho is not the GOAT? You dare come to me with this blasphemous nonsense.
Blasphemy.
Blasphemy, that's what I'm talking. Chris Jericho is the greatest of all time. I will slap a motherfucker
Thank
in
you,
the
WeedMan.
face. Okay, on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
Greatest of all time.
On the Mount Rushmore of wrestlers. You got to give him top four of all time. He is the Teddy Roosevelt of the Mount Rushmore. He reinvents himself
But
more
didn't
than
I just list 4?
you listed your four.
Speaking of list, he got everyone excited about a piece of paper.
Yeah, he got across a piece of paper. The motherfucker. Okay, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the George Washington on my Mount Rushmore of wrestlers.
Oh, I can respect he's in the top 4. I can't say he's Washington. But that's my personal
Chris
opinion.
Jericho is my Teddy Roosevelt because nobody reinvents himself better than Chris Jericho.
You call him
Here's-
who he actually
okay, hang on, no,
if
you
you're gonna
hang
call
on.
anything,
You hang on
just
just
call
one
him by who he
second.
is.
You hang on
Chris
just.
Lionheart, punk.
You can call him whatever you want. Look at the amount of times that he has reinvented himself. From the ECW to the WCW to the WWE, nobody has the balls to interrupt The Rock except Chris Jericho. And that's the way that he introduced himself.
Okay, in fairness,
First ever unified champion.
Okay.
Anything else?
Until The Rock.
Thank you for
First-
mentioning The Rock. WeedMan.
First ever unified champion.
You know this little factor because I told you, sir, and you have
Okay,
to
hang
look
on.
up the history.
Let's think about something else. What is the 4-letter word that Stone Cold Steve Austin got across?
What?
What?
We could do this all day. Remember,
What?
I worked in drive-thru,
What?
and then,
What?
and then,
What?
What?
and then,
What?
and then,
What?
and then.
What? Okay, so Stone Cold gets across a 4-letter word of what? Do you know what Chris Jericho gets across? Do you know what Chris Jericho has the fans wanting for more? Do you know what Chris Jericho has everybody hanging on the edge of his word? Every single word is deliberate, and they're all hanging on this one special thing. And do you know what it is?
The list.
Do you know what is hanging right there? 2 letters form one word. Do you know what that is? Do you know what is... Do you know what is...
Hey, guess what?
It.
Yeah.
It is the word it. 2 letters form one word, and he got across it. Of all the words in the English language, he gets across it. It.
All right, it's Jericho.
It.
I'm not arguing that the Jericho isn't
All right.
great.
Yeah.
He's just not the greatest of all time.
You know the problem I have with that statement?
What?
Go ahead, WeedMan.
What?
You realize that
What?
the it
Yeah.
didn't get across to me.
And then.
Oh.
It wasn't that big of a deal to me.
And you
wanna
bring
know
up...
why? You wanna know why?
Why is that?
Because I mean, when you were just sitting up here asking us the word,
You didn't know what it was.
I sure did not.
And that's the problem that we face.
So
Like I call it the
that
outsider.
proves his impact.
It does.
What, so I mean,
It does. And how can you put him up on the Mount Rushmore, be the Teddy Roosevelt of my Mount Rushmore, if it doesn't get across to the common fan? That's my biggest problem. And that's where we're at.
I
as
know who
wrestling
Chris
fans.
Jericho is
But you don't recognize him as the greatness that is today, do you?
because he's not.
All right, let's rewind a little bit to explain something to WeedMan here. WeedMan won his undisputed Universal title from Stone Cold Steve Austin. All right, the match he had before that was against The Rock, where he won the WCW title. We're talking heavyweight title. This is when the first undisputed title happened. This was roughly 96, 98, probably later. I've had a lot to drink.
Hey.
Apologize. 2010, 2, maybe 1. Forgive
There
me.
you go.
Forgive me. I've been trying to catch up on my histories, ladies and gentlemen. It's like this. Jericho beat Stone Cold right after WCW was bought by the WWF. When Vince McMahon and Shane took over, they did the NWO and...
Take everything you hear with a grain of salt. Move forward. Go ahead.
Like me.
Man likes big sweaty men.
Thank you,
Vince
Mr.
McMahon
Man.
likes
Big
big
sweaty
sweaty
man.
man. Did you hear
Moving right along.
Hang on. Did you hear who the #1 contender was for Randy Orton's WWE Championship?
Oh, please tell me. Please tell me.
Jinder Mahal.
Do I really have to go there with the level of racism that begins?
Literally the dude from the one-man band, Jinder Mahal. Heath Slater was once champion. Jinder Mahal is now looking to be champion. Do you know why? Do you in fact know why he is the #1 contender? Where did the WWE Network just opened up ground? India. Where's Jinder Mahal from? India.
So again, wrestling's all about money.
Thank you. Cha-ching!
And ladies and gentlemen, understand, I am not yet a wrestler. I will be. I'm doing my training. I'll make a name for myself. I just want to get my voice out so y'all support me.
I never wanted to be a wrestler.
Well, we personally, me and you've known each other many years.
Is that blasphemous to say of myself, is that I never wanted to be a wrestler?
No, because honestly, you weren't the physical type.
I'm 5'10", 150, soaking wet. I am a scrawny motherfucker. I never was meant
All right,
for
but see,
on
you
the
gotta
ring.
understand, bruh. My senior year of high school, I was 6'2", 165 pounds. That's before I went to boot
Raw,
camp.
and spring steel and looking to pounce.
Right? I wasn't a big motherfucker.
You're right up JBL's alley.
Right? But boy, I was a bully. And I'll admit
Hashtag
it.
fire JBL. Alright, let's get into our picks coming up for Payback, and then let's get the fuck out of here. What do you say? Because, like, believe it or not, I think we're on about 45 minutes. Yeah, about a half hour into the show, so let's go ahead and get into our picks for Payback coming up this weekend. It's prediction time. And we start with our pre-show, and it's Enzo and Cass versus Gallows and Anderson. My pick with my heart goes with Enzo and Cass simply for the fact that it's a pre-show match, and good guys always win on the pre-show. What do you got? WeedMan, go.
Who the fuck are these two wrestlers?
Thank you.
Question of the evening.
And there's actually 4 of them there. It's a tag team match to determine the #1 contender. Enzo and Cass, probably the most over 2 competitors that have come along in a long time, full of a lot of little catchphrases. Cass, about 7 foot tall. Enzo, he's the mouthpiece, got a microphone on his hand.
Just
Gallows
like one being a chihuahua and one being a pit bull.
Yeah, and then Gallows and Anderson, former Bullet Club members that are now in the WWE. If you know what the Bullet Club is, more props to you, because I doubt that's up your alley as well. So, let's just get it off the bat. Who do we got? You don't even have to say why. Who do you got? Enzo and Cass versus Gallows and Anderson. WeedMan, go.
Gallows and Anderson.
Gallows and Anderson off the bat. That's not a bad pick. That's not a bad pick. It's a pre-show matchup, so WeedMan gets G and A. All right, Boo Boo Kitty Fuck, go.
Always with my Enzo and Cass.
All right, not a problem. Captain Cannabis, who you got?
Oh, I gotta give it into a Cass. I'm sorry, Enzo's just a certified G. You can't teach
He's a
that.
bona fide stud.
Big
You
Cass
can't
is
teach
7
that.
feet tall.
And you can't teach that. All right, let's get on down to the next one. Let's go. U.S. Championship match, Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens or Kevin Steen. However long you've been watching, it could be Owens or it could be Steen. I'm going to take let's go Kevin Owens, simply for the match that we all want to see, which is Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles. Jericho, he's going to stay on Raw so he can take on Dean Ambrose in the future for the Intercontinental Championship. WeedMan, what do you say?
I think I'm going to give it to Jericho.
You're going to give it to Jericho?
I need a Y on that one. Of course, you don't know who Kevin Owens is.
Probably not.
So you know what? Never mind.
Yeah, we don't need a Y. All right, Boo Boo Kitty Fuck, what do you got?
I'm going to have to go with Owens because Jericho's too good of a heel.
I actually have to agree with you that he's too good of a bad guy to keep him good. I like that. I dig and respect it. All right, Captain Cannabis, go.
I have to disagree. It's Jericho.
Why?
It's Jericho.
All right,
There is no better heel than Jericho.
That is true.
Like,
You're not
he's not the greatest
disagreeing
all
with
time.
her. Well, you're not disagreeing with her. But why do you say that he recaptures the title? Why not keep him heel on Raw?
All right, because Jericho just dropped his first U.S. title, the only title belt in any wrestling organization that he had not held. They're going to give him 2. He's going to win it back just because it's perfect for Jericho. It does,
Jericho.
in your words, make him the GOAT. Now he's held every single title.
Greatest of all time.
Okay, that would, in offense, change my position.
All right. I cannot disagree with you. However, I cannot agree with you. All right, let's get
I hope y'all caught that.
Let's get into Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe. I'm going to take your guys' responses first, and then I'm going to get into my own. WeedMan, go. Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe. You're going to take Seth on that one? All right. I cannot disagree with you, but all right.
But I think he's on my end. I'm going to choose Seth Rollins as well because I don't know who the other guy is.
Samoa Joe? There's a lot of people who do not know who Samoa Joe is.
I don't know his backstory or what he is, so I
Oh,
always have
man.
to go with Seth Rollins.
For those not in the know, let Captain Cannabis inform those.
Okay,
Go.
You've heard of the Rock Samoan bloodline, right? Well, you got Samoa Joe. Okay, Samoa Joe is a GD machine, if you would.
Goddamn.
You think Taz when you think Samoa Joe with intensity.
ECW, motherfucker. Go
For
ahead.
some reason,
Go ahead, Weedman.
For some
Go
reason,
ahead.
this brings back memories, and this brings back a wrestler that I completely forgot about.
Who's that?
Rikishi.
Oh, shit! The old Rikishi line. All right.
Are we doing this cool Rikishi or Rikishi?
I did it for the Rock. I did it for the Rock. That kind of Rikishi.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, not to get down from him,
I
but I
did
do
it
have to give a holler out
for
to
the Rock.
Rosie. God rest his family. We love
Yeah,
you.
yeah, good call on that one. All right, you know what? I'm going to go on this one. Did you get your pick on that? There, Captain Cannabis.
Remind me of where we're at again.
Something about, yeah, it was the
Samoa
Seth Rollins
Joe.
versus Samoa Joe.
I have to give it to Samoa Joe. I've seen Samoa Joe live, and Seth, as much as I love you, yeah, you're whatever your moniker is right now. You were Triple H's putt. That's the problem.
And along those lines, I happen to agree with you. Listen, my heart says Seth Rollins simply for the fact that he just got off that match with Triple H where he actually beat Triple H clean. However, my head says go with Samoa Joe because after all, the fact of the matter remains that the authority is in the back pocket of Samoa Joe. Or I should say that Samoa Joe is in fact in that back pocket of the authority. So therefore I gotta go with Samoa Joe on this one. And up next,
Can we go A's and just call him the Terminator?
he's basically that. No, actually he's called the Destroyer.
What's the difference?
Exactly. Samoa Joe's moniker, the Destroyer. Yeah, that's even his Twitter handle. So it is what it is. Let's get into the next match. And what do you say we get into a little WWE Raw Women's Championship? We're having the number one contender, Alexa Bliss, in her straight out of DC comic books Alexa Bliss
Rip
character.
off!
Yeah, she's straight up Harley Quinn. So she's taking on Bailey, hugs and all.
Any comment, Boo Boo?
Boo Boo Kitty Fuck, who you got? Alexa Bliss or Bailey?
I'm going to Alexa Bliss.
Fuck yeah, you are, honey, because I taught you how to be a fan.
You know what? I disagree with
Captain
you.
Cannabis, what do you got? You got Bailey?
I got Bailey only
Why?
because, well, you know what? I'm not a huggable guy, right? It's hard for me to open up. You know what? I like Bailey.
Alright.
I want a hug from Bailey. I want to see her win.
I would like a hug from Bailey. How sweet it would be. Alright, WeedMan. Bailey, Alexa
Tone it
Bliss.
down, hun. Tone it down.
Do you even know who either one of these two superstars are?
I do not, but
They're part of
when
the
you
women's
started, when you started, correct me if I'm wrong, but for some reason in my head, like the entire time, I've been thinking Alexa Bliss.
No shit.
Well,
Thank
take
you.
it. Run with it.
Yeah,
I
go with
respect
that. I like it. I dig it because that's the exact same route that I was going. I've got to go with Alexa Bliss on this one simply for the fact that WWE Raw continues to play hot potato with that women's championship.
Maybe,
Okay, but tell me this just so I can understand.
what also could draw me to that is, I don't know, maybe it's the sex appeal of the name.
So, can I ask this question?
She is 5
Where's the
feet
white
of,
women at?
she is 5 feet of fury. She is that. You're thinking on the right terms because I need to show you a picture after this. I shit you not. She's the hottest woman working today, and I'm sorry, honey, but
Don't apologize.
if you could
What
give
I
me,
said was
if you
probably
could
way
give,
worse.
yeah, if you could give me one free go, oh man, would it be
If
Alexa
you ever
Bliss?
had the chance on, go for it.
Oh, thank you, honey. Thank you, Boo Boo Kitty Fuck. Alright, so I'm gonna actually go with Alexa Bliss on this. I'm over the whole character of Bailey. I'm past the whole I wanna hug, all shucks, gee willikers, I'm glad to be in this scenario.
You still wouldn't kick her out of bed.
No, I wouldn't. But I'm past that
That's
as
Alexa Bliss.
I'm past that as a character in the WWE because Alexa Bliss, not
Understand
only
what
is
I
she
meant by
great
where's
in
the
the
white
ring,
women at?
but outside of the ring, oh holy shit, is she amazing on the mic. Speaking of amazing on the mic, let's get into our next pick.
Let's run it.
Let's get into our cruiserweight action. The purple rope flippy shit motherfuckers that are. Let's get into our champion.
We're talking Neville, our current champion.
Are you
right?
going King Neville or are you going Austin Aries? The A double standard of Austin Aries. King Neville or Austin Aries? Who do you got? Boo Boo Kitty Fuck.
I chose Neville.
You did choose Neville. You're going to maintain with the reign of King Neville. I like it. WeedMan, do you know even either one of these or even what the cruiserweight is?
I don't.
Cruiserweight is 205 pounds or less.
Well,
And what were the
220
two?
to
What were the
180.
opponents again?
Austin
What were-
Aries or Neville.
former TNA star or WWE star.
Yeah, it was he's a product of the WWE.
So
he
Austin
kind of went to
Aries
Japan
or
for a
King
little bit.
Neville.
Yes.
Yeah, Austin Aries.
Neville
or
is
King
also
Neville.
known as the man that gravity forgot.
No, the man that gravity defies.
I want to say Austin because
Technicality.
He
I
teamed with
tend-
Green Arrow, the fucking dude from TV at one point, Scott. Stephen Amell? Is that who it was? Stephen Amell? Isn't that who plays Green Arrow?
No.
I'm gonna have to
Steven.
say Austin. I've learned to. I don't know. I don't.
Woo!
For some reason, I don't like the name. I don't like people going by the name King. LeBron kind of ruined that. for me.
Oh, we went there.
I ain't
We'll
even
come-
gonna
we'll come
bring
back
up
on that.
LeBron. I could talk LeBron for ages. I cannot stand that motherfucker. I'm the same age
I
as
don't
that
either.
prick.
Can't stand
I'm
it.
the same age as that prick. I hate him. Alright, but let's continue on. You're going to choose Austin Aries. Captain Cannabis. What do you say?
All
Why?
right. I like the man that gravity forgot. Right? But unfortunately, you got to give it to Aries. He's a better technical wrestler overall. He's got more skill. He's got more power. He don't need to do the high flying hoopla.
But he still has it.
Like, he can do it.
Yeah.
But why?
Yeah.
Right? I just grab a hold of you and put your chokehold. It's over.
Can you get weed, honey? Please. Because I could use another bowl from either that or my pipe.
Apparently, ladies and gentlemen, we need a reload.
We're getting that way, but we're going to continue on with the picks, and let's get into...
Cigarette.
I do need a cigarette. Alright, what do you say we just wrap this shit up and let's just go kind of fast-paced. Let's get into the Raw Tag Team Championships. We got the Hardy Boys or Cesaro and Sheamus. WeedMan, go. Hardy Boys?
I agree with you.
Yeah, Captain Cannabis. Of course, you're going to go Hardy Boys. Boo Boo Kitty Fuck.
Hardy Boys.
I'm the only one, the odd man out. I'm going to choose the Hardy Boys simply for the fact that the Hardy Boys need to go somewhere. They need to go broken.
Hardy Boys.
They need to go. They need to go somewhere. They need to be broken. They need to be.
That's it. You're high over there because you said you chose the Hardy Boys.
No,
I chose the Hardy Boys.
I choose Cesaro and Sheamus, believe it or not. So they're gonna drop it to Cesaro. That's just what I choose.
Let's rewind and
That's
start
just
that
what
over.
I choose. No, you can believe it or whatever. That's just what I choose.
That ain't what you said at first.
House of Horrors match: Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt.
Wyatt.
Wyatt, fuck Orton.
Anybody else choosing Wyatt?
Orton.
I'm going Wyatt. It's not a title match, so why would Orton need to win this match? He needs to win the match versus Jinder Mahal. My beliefs on this: Jinder Mahal's going to interfere. He's already stole the motherfucker's title. He straight up stole Randy Orton's title this past Tuesday night on SmackDown. I'm going to go Jinder Mahal interferes on this as well.
Randy Orton's a bitch.
RKO on your ass out of nowhere.
Okay, that's still nothing like the Diamond Cutter. Punk.
It is the Diamond Quarter. Yeah, it's basically the exact same move. Alright, what else we got left? That leaves us with the main event. The match that absolutely no one asked for. The one that nobody cares about. Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman. I could give two flying fucks less about.
The Rock's cousin and a former Wyatt family member.
Yeah,
They're
Braun
kinda this
Strowman
weird hillbilly
is nothing
redneck
more than a
kinda
glorified
Undertaker
power
thing.
lifter.
And you
Vince
wonder why I
McMahon
quit
likes big
watching
sweaty men.
wrestling.
Vince McMahon loves big sweaty men.
Vince McMahon
Loves
big,
big sweaty men. So that's where we're at right now. Are we going to give it to the edge of the person that Vince McMahon wants to see pushed?
Or
are
should
we
be
gonna-
Roman Reigns, if we had to call that.
Yeah, or are we going to give it to the guy that everybody would like to see take on Brock Lesnar
And
for the
lose.
title? I don't know
And
if you
lose.
I don't know if you have him lose against him though.
And lose.
How do you have a man who's there every week lose against a quarter-time performer?
Exactly.
You cannot continue on down this path
Hulk
of
Hogan.
you cannot continue on down this path of nonsense by having a quarter-time champion.
Hulk Hogan.
Fuck Hulk Hogan, you know where I stand on that. Hulk
And I
Hogan,
understand that, but you don't understand that it's the perfect explanation.
you cannot justify keeping a title on somebody that isn't there more than one show every 6 weeks.
Okay, well then Lesnar needs to drop the title.
To Strowman, and that's what I've been saying all along. Strowman wins this match. He goes on to SummerSlam to take on Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. Strowman gets the belt, drops it in 3 months to what did you say earlier was his former clique,
The Wyatt's family, man.
and who just got drafted to Raw? Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt, your former WWE champion, now over on Raw, competing for the Universal Champion. He's going to pick up the Intercontinental Championship at some point, but he's going to want more. Braun Strowman gets the championship for Brock, gets under the mind control of Bray Wyatt, his
And drops
former leader in the legion that was the Wyatt family. He drops it to Bray Wyatt. What's the pay-per-view after the big pay-per-view in the fall?
Oh, I couldn't remember.
I couldn't either. Is it TLC? Is it Money in the Bank? Let's just say that
Well, how many times has it changed?
Let's just say that Bray Wyatt drops the title, or that Braun Strowman drops the title to Bray Wyatt at Money in the Bank come the fall. That's my prediction right there. I'm gonna lay it out all on the line.
So, Weed, you're saying Bray Wyatt wins this match against Orton?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a house of horrors. It doesn't mean anything. The title no longer on the line. Any true WWE fan can see the writing on the wall or the writing on the script, if you will.
Yeah, it's Orton.
That
I'm
Orton,
not disagreeing with
that
that.
Orton is going to keep his title until he drops it to Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal, they're going to give the title. That way he can drop it again to Randy Orton. That way Randy Orton gets tied with John Cena on the most overall all time. And then he's going to drop it again. And he's going to win it back to John Cena. Because John Cena is laying the weeds and waiting right now. John Cena ain't been seen on the actual show in, 3 weeks?
Which was what, WrestleMania?
Yeah, basically whenever he proposed to Brie.
I'm going to tell you something I know. John Cena was uncomfortable with the whole situation. It was way too personal for him.
Yep. He lifted the veil on what was his life inside the ring and outside of the ring, and I don't think he's very comfortable with him. That's why we haven't seen him.
So can we say, for ladies and gentlemen, broke the cardinal rule? He broke kayfabe?
You never break kayfabe. And with that, that is all of our picks going into Payback. This has been a very special Weed on Wrestling. It's been all over the place. It's been a wonderful ride as it lasted. And what did the Grateful Dead say? It's been what a long, strange trip it's been.
We'll have to have it again, sir.
And with that, what do you say we get the fuck out of here? This has been a special edition of Weed on Wrestling. I am, of course, Weed, a.k.a. Alan, your host that tries to stay stoned the most. You can find me at all the normal places. That's SoundCloud, iTunes, Spreaker Radio, and if you can't tell it in my voice, I'm just a little bit drunk right now, and I'm a lot bit high. So find me in all the normal places. That's at Weed on Wrestling. All one word, Weed on Wrestling. That's the Twitter handle. SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker Radio, iHeartRadio. You know all the normal places. If you're listening to me, that's where I'm at. You can check out the WeedMan. I don't know if he wants you to find him, but if you happen to stumble upon him, he's there. Check out Captain Cannabis at, again, Captain Cannabis 840 is the handle. 820? Why didn't you go 840? You're the double of 420.
Well, I understand that, but if I was double 420, I'd be 840.
That is true. All right, so let's keep on. You can find the Boo Boo Kitty Fuck. She don't even want you to find her.
Nope.
So you know what? You can search all you want. You ain't gonna find the Boo Boo Kitty Fuck. You can find me. Handle is at Weed on Wrestling. Again, all one word. That's Weed on Wrestling. I got a new Facebook page. I'm on YouTube. I'm on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Spreaker Radio,
and Instagram.
I do not have an Instagram, and I am not gonna get one. I ain't gonna get one, and you can't make me.
Excuse me. I meant Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter is Weed on Wrestling. So what do you say?
Much to drink.
What do you say we just get the fuck out of here?
Good seeing you, Wade. Good seeing you.
Always.
Kill it.
You let it run for a little bit. You let it soothe into your effervescent being of all that is you. WeedMan over here showed me the cigarettes about 5 minutes ago, and I caught that drift like, hey, we need to wrap this shit up right now. Alright, let's get the fuck out of here. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Alright. Peace!